action. Welcome to Hot Topics. And today we are going to discuss 10 habits that are keeping you poor, 10 habits that are keeping you broke. So let's get with it. Just get on with the 10 habits that are keeping you broke. The first habit is you don't know where your money goes. If you are stuck living paycheck to paycheck and do not have a budget in place, you probably don't really know where your money is going. It's very important. You have to know where your money goes. If you want to be financially free, and that's why I'm creating this channel, is so people can learn how to be financially free. And I want to learn how to be financially free myself because I'm one of those people that is stuck in the rat race. I go to work every day and I'm making these videos and I'm tired and I want to learn how to be financially free. And what better way to learn how to be financially free is by teaching people how they could be financially free and then learning myself from my own teaching. That's my goal. Um, if you haven't seen my first video on Hot Topics on finances, make sure you check that out. It is it's how to earn extra income at home, ways you can make money working from home. Okay, so make sure you check that out. Um, but today we are going to learn about um, the habits that are keeping you poor. All right, habits that are keeping you broke. And the first one is not knowing where your money goes. You need to know where your money goes. Even if you have a lot of money, you hear about athletes that have millions of dollars and they just spend and spend and spend. They don't focus on where their money goes. And then 5 years up the road, 10 years down the road, they're retired. They don't play their sport anymore and they're broke. It happens all the time. You have to know where your money is going. Um, so that's step number one. Make sure you know where your money's going. You have a checklist and notice that where you're spending your money. It might be good to have a finance checklist, check sheet, do every day. It's one thing I do every day when I'm doing my bills and whatnot, and I count for every dollar that I spend. It's very important. Okay. Then step number two, you're lazy or procrastinate when it comes to your finances. Guilty of this in the past. Not everyone is a personal finance nerd like I am. And I know finances are not always exciting to understand or look at, but it needs to be part of your weekly routine. Just like what I said, you have to know where your money's going. You can't be lazy about that. Even if you earn a lot of money, I know a lot of people, they earn a lot of money every week and they make a nice fat paycheck, but they're always broke because they just blow their money and they don't realize that they're blowing it on things. They go to work and they go to fast food restaurants, or they spend it on scratch tickets, or they spend it on this and that, and they don't even think about where their money's going. Very important. Step number two, you have to know where your money's going. You have to budget yourself and you have to know where your money is going. Step number three, you need to pay yourself first. Um, Even if you don't make that much money, if you can just put a percentage of money away each week from every paycheck that you get, no matter how little it is, if you can put away 10 or 15% of your pay, even 5% of your pay, even if it's just a few dollars a week, and just pay yourself first and put that into savings, put that somewhere where that's your money. I mean, you pay your bills, you pay your taxes, you pay your rent and your mortgage and your utilities and your credit card bills and all that. You need to start paying yourself first. It's more important than any other bill that you have. You have to pay yourself first. So save, a percentage of your pay. Try to shoot for 10% or 15% of your salary every week. Pay yourself first. Put that in savings. Put that somewhere where you don't touch it, and that will grow. And then you can use that money to invest in to make money. Okay, so paying yourself first is number three. Very important thing to do. And step number four, don't spend your money on things you can't afford. This is another thing that keeps people broke and keeps people working overtime every day and every week. And then they realize that they don't have any life left in their life because their life is spent working at some job that they probably liked and tolerated at one time, but now they have to do it so much because they just spend and spend and spend money on things they can't really afford, that they have to work, they have to get a second job, they can't, now they're working two jobs and all they're doing is working, and they can't focus on creating a business or creating some kind of financial freedom for themselves. They're just working all the time because they're overspending. They buy a vehicle that they can't afford, or they buy a house they can't afford, or jewelry they can't afford, clothes that they really can't afford, and they put it on their credit cards and it just piles up. You have to um, you have to know how to budget your money and not buy things that you really can't afford. You really have to ask yourself, how important is it when you make a purchase? Do I really need it? Okay? So don't spend money on things you can't afford. All right. Number 5, don't surround yourself with negativity and people who are pessimistic, and put the blames on others and other societal factors for them not doing well. Okay, you don't want to surround yourself with negative people because that can bring you down. You want to surround yourself with positive people, and most people, and a lot of, not everybody, but a lot of people that created a large amount of wealth, that done it on their own, that started off not having money, and then they created wealth. They had to have a lot of discipline, and they had to think positive, and surround themselves with positive people, because just thinking negatively and I can't do it, and you having that attitude is only going to bring you down. It's not good. So you want to be positive and be around positive people. All right. And step number 5. Step number 6, try not to get rich quick. Building wealth and accumulating money doesn't happen overnight. It can happen fast sometimes, but generally this is a long-term approach. So getting rich doesn't happen overnight. Building financial freedom to the point where you can quit your job until you're and live comfortably, it takes a while. It takes smart investing. It takes intelligent investing, and it might take a while. It won't happen overnight, and it takes smart planning. Okay. Let's see. Number 7. Okay. Don't have a consumer mentality. Instead of thinking about buying depreciating assets like cars and clothing and things like that, you want to focus on buying things that will appreciate, maybe like real estate, or even smart investing in smart things, stocks and bonds that will appreciate and hold their value over time. You don't want to be spending your money on things that depreciate. Okay, and a lot of people have that mentality. They see something nice and flashy and it's really expensive, and they just got to have it, and they spend their money on it, and it's really not worth. And a couple months down the road, a couple years down the road, it's not worth nearly what they paid for it. So be careful about what you spend your money on. Number 8, being worried about impressing others. Don't worry about impressing others. You don't have to be the person with the nicest suit or the nicest car. Some people, they focus on things that don't really matter, and they feel like they have to be the person that pulls up in the nicest car, or they have to be the person wearing the most expensive suit. That will keep you, not only will it keep you broke, but it'll keep you working all those extra hours that you really don't want to work, and then you're working those extra hours and you can't really think about focusing on a business plan because you're too busy working all those extra hours, you see. So so try not to be so flashy and not worry about what other people think about what you wear or what you drive and that sort of thing, and where you shop. Um, you kind of, you can't let that bother you. Um, number 10, which is a really important one, is that you use your credit cards wrong. The use of credit cards can be a great thing for establishing credit, for emergency purchases, or even to get travel points or cash back. However, too many people use it to buy high price items that they do not have the cash to pay for. And if you don't have the cash to buy something, and you use your credit card to buy it, like a big screen TV that costs $700-800, or whatever, fancy clothes or jewelry, and you don't have the cash to pay for it, and then you use your credit card and you have an 18% interest on that credit card, well, now it's really going to put you in the hole. So be very careful about using credit cards, and I would only use credit cards for an emergency. And if you need to use your credit card, try to pay off the full balance every month. Don't have a balance on your credit card every month, because it's just going to build up, and interest rates on credit cards are just astronomical. It's almost thievery. You know, some banks will charge 18, 20, beyond 25% interest. It's it's really incredible what they can get away with charging, and it can ruin you financially. Credit cards can ruin people financially, and it has. And it can keep you in the poorhouse, and it can keep you working and working and working until you keel over. So be really careful about credit cards. And I'm going to do a few extra bonus habits that are keeping people broke. Number 10, did I say 10 or 11? Well, the next one would be spending more than you make. Now, this is a big mistake a lot of people make. They spend more than they make. And another thing is by taking loans that they like, banks will give people loans that they really can't afford. That's another thing. They'll buy a house or a car that they really can't afford. It's really beyond their what they make. And banks and businesses will do that because they want to sell the house or they want to sell that car. So they'll sell somebody $100,000 car that's making $40,000 or $50,000 a year. That's got a lot of other expenses, and it's like, next thing you know, you're either going to get a repo, or you got to get a second job, or you got to work all kinds of crazy overtime to pay for it, and then you're going to be miserable. So that's, don't overspend. Next one is, you have to set money goals for yourself. Set money goals, very important to set a budget plan, set money goals. By not having goals, you have nothing to reach for, and you don't know where you are in your finances. So you need to have money goals. And it's okay to, buy stuff for yourself every now and then, especially when you reach your money goal. If your money goal is to save $10,000, and then once you save that, give yourself a little splurge, maybe go out and buy something that's not crazy, but maybe for a couple of thousand, maybe a camera or this or that, or a suit that you always wanted, or a piece of jewelry that you always wanted. And learn how to invest in basic investing. It's, if you are going to understand how to invest in stocks or real estate, you need to take the time out of your day to educate yourself. Understanding the very basics to get you started is not overly complicated, and there is a lot of information out there, and it is easier than you think. So if you take the time to study investment strategies, there's plenty of information out there that's legitimate that will help you learn what to invest in and what to stay away from in investments. And the final one is probably the most obvious, is you don't make enough money. This is probably the most obvious and biggest complaint many might have. If you have to cut back on spending and done most of the above that I talked about, then it is clear that you need to make more money. In some circumstances, you just might need to make more money. And if you're in a situation where you just need to make more money, then even though you're cutting all you're not overspending, you're not driving a super fancy car, sometimes you might have to do that. Take that extra job, or look for a career shift, or look for a side hustle or something like that, and make that extra money for a while. But usually if you follow those rules that I discussed about not overspending, be careful about credit cards, paying yourself first, investing in yourself, it won't be long before you should be able to just work one job and invest your money right and proper, and still be able to have some money in your savings. And that is the goal. And then once you have enough money in your savings, you can use that money to invest. And if you can invest your money properly, that's when you are on your way to financial freedom. All right. And if you like this video and you like learning about finances and stuff like that, I mean, I'm learning how to do this myself. I'm still in the rat race myself, so I'm just studying ways to increase my wealth. And if you like to learn more with me on ways to increase your wealth, make sure you follow Hot Topics. And I'm going to try to do at least one video a week on different topics of increasing financial wealth. Okay, so if you like this video, subscribe to the channel and have an awesome day. All right, everybody, peace out.